fourth down, the final play, unless they can stick it in the end zone. Dorsey under pressure, throws it, incomplete. The Buckeyes win.
Ezekiel Elliott, and he's got an opening. Elliott off to the races. Can they catch him?
Feature the two backs as receivers, and now a downfield shot on first down for the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State strikes first. Making the Judkins again, and there is Smith running free, breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly from 45 yards. Pressure comes. Shaw, knock it out, and picks it up. Jack Shaw coming down the sidelines. Ohio State scoop and score and dagger from 82 yards.
Here they come.
Heavy pressure. Howard delivers downfield. It's Smith. He's got it. Jeremiah Smith. The 2025 college football national champion, Coach Ryan Day, and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Welcome in, Buckeye backers. We are bringing it to you live from Seattle, Washington, to the cornfields of Enid, Ohio. We are the pulse of Buckeye fans across the nation, with Seattle Matt and Buckeye Steve. Welcome in, Buckeye backers. It is Buckeye Steve bringing on Alex, or King Buckeye. How we all doing? Having a great day. Hey, the Bucks are 7-0, right where we want them to be. Life is good to be a Buckeye right now. Life is good. We get the off week just to get better, right? Off week to get better. Prepare for Penn State. Is there a little bit of drama coming into playing Penn State? Are we going to build this up for next week? You know, Jim Knowles coming back to town where he left out before the championship ceremony. What a god-awful thing to do. And then he goes and it starts off 0-4 in the Big Ten at Penn State. And man, did we fall forward on that one, getting Matt Patricia, because what a show he is putting on with this historic defense, man. Historic defense.
Yeah, I mean, originally there was a lot to this game in preseason. You know, the AP put them at number 2, us at number 3, robbing us of the, you know, first ever AP 1 versus 2 game to start the year with Texas. So that right off the bat, that was kind of making that game more amped up, and we all thought that by now, you know, if Ohio State beat Texas, that this would be a 1 versus 2 game. Well, Penn State didn't hold up their end of the bargain, of course, and they didn't just not hold up their end of the bargain. They fell off the freaking cliff and burnt in the flames. So, you know, this game is a lot less exciting now, but there is still the revenge factor on either side when it comes to Jim Knowles. You know, Ohio State gets revenge on a DC that left them for some senseless drama, and you know, he doesn't want to admit it, but you know, he got upset with Ryan Day and all of them trying to tell him what to do, and he went to Penn State and gets rewarded with a 3-4 season thus far and 4 straight losses. And you know, for Jim Knowles, it's revenge on Ohio State for trying to tell him what to do.
Left that national championship trophy at the altar in the celebration, man.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Go take your team at Penn State and have that dumpster fire, because total points allowed, 41 total points on the season. That's 7 games.
Yep. And
there's a lot of teams that have given up in 1 game.
That's the least amount this millennium.
Yeah. So. And if we go back to, if it's 42, then you get a whole new level of historical status. And we're going to bring Bryan on later to do our stats for that. But let's talk about Ryan Day's press conference. You know, he gets into it a little bit. You know, they start asking him about running backs. Is there a hierarchy at running back? Well, he doesn't want to say yes yet. He needs some more reps, But we all know Isaiah West is running back 2. Bo Jackson is running back 1. We've been talking to that for a while. And then all of a sudden, you know what? He is. I think Ryan Day just takes his time to make sure he's got things right. He wants to see if guys can climb back in it, and he's going to give reps to others at running back. That's at least what I see. I think he's going to give those guys the time. They put in the time. They stayed with the program. So give them time to see if they're going to make a difference. And I think that ship has sailed now. I mean, we're halfway through the season, more than halfway through the season, and running back number 2 has got to be Isaiah West. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I'm pretty sure you've seen the tweet going around about the missed tackles for the running backs.
Yeah.
And how C.J. Donaldson with like 60 carries has 2 missed tackles, And by missed tackles for running backs, folks, we mean these running backs making people miss, not like if you're on defense, you miss a tackle, of course. But I think Isaiah West, in the little playing time he's had, already has 7? And I think Bo Jackson has 12, 13, something along those lines. If I had my laptop with me, I'd look it up. But it just goes to show, especially with what little we saw of Isaiah West in this game against Wisconsin, just how good he can be. And we already know how good Bo Jackson can be. And even he didn't have his best game by any stretch of the imagination against Wisconsin. But it's not just a running back problem right now. It's a right guard problem as well.
Correct.
Tegra, we'll get into that, but we know what needs to be done there too. But I like what Day said. He's not anointing anybody. He's taken this bye week to really further evaluate the issue.
I like that too.
And the week after, of course, leading up to the Penn State game. But you're right. I mean, we already know who RB1 is. It's Bo Jackson by a landslide. And Isaiah West, he showed in a limited amount of time that he should be RB2. And, people like Zach Smith and other people have said, our 2 best running backs are true freshmen, and that's not exactly a bad thing. So
No. And he did talk about the pass versus run. And I get this. I love that he said this because, yes, he was trying to force the run, but he's like, come on, guys. Running the ball is half the battle, too. We need to be able to do both. And I think with this defense allowing 41 points per game, this midseason Dodd Watch quarterback or coach, coach of the year possibly, knows what he's got, and he's willing to take a chance against the Illinois, against the Wisconsins, even though they're good teams in their own right. They don't have a defense, and they don't have an offense that can go against this defense that they have. He's willing to work on the run game because you know what? He knows he can pass the ball. He can air it out every single second of every single game. Let's work on something else that we need. So I give him respect for that because I sure as shit wouldn't be doing that. I'd be airing that thing out left and right.
Well, it was very interesting because we had talked about it for the Illinois game, how their pass defense was their weakness, and we didn't seem to attack that with Illinois. Mm-hmm. And we talked about it with Wisconsin too. Their pass defense was their weakness as well, where their rush defense, they were top 20 in the country, and it showed. It showed a lot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we pass away against Wisconsin and almost 400 yards passing. So, I mean, the proof is in the pudding there. And I think that was a strategic move too, just because Illinois is obviously a more serious opponent this year than Wisconsin was. Mm-hmm. And we let that Wisconsin game be a real test to see, okay, Julian, what can we really put on you? And Julian passed every test. I mean, what more can you say about this guy? I mean,
both literally and figuratively passed every test. 80% on the season, 19 touchdowns. This dude is a standout, an absolute standout. Wow. That's the only thing you can say. All NFL throws all the time. Like those throws in the back of the end zone, we talked about it the morning after show. We showed them on there. I can't get enough of watching them. I honestly, that first one to Tate, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch the rest of the game because I'm going to be watching this replay the rest of the entire game. Like, tell me what happens because I'm not watching anything else. And then he goes and pulls another one to Ennis.
Yeah, and honestly, that first touchdown to Tate, I couldn't even believe he threw that ball into double coverage, especially to it not being Jeremiah Smith, but it worked. Mm-hmm. So, hopefully that doesn't, go the other way in future games if that pass gets thrown. But I mean, a lot of people I've seen some comps to Drew Brees, and I get that comparison, but I'm going to go back to the comparison that I made, before the season. I said this guy reminds me a lot of Aaron Rodgers. He's got great pocket presence. He's got that flick of the wrist pass that just looks like an absolute missile with minimal. It looks like minimal effort coming out of his hands. I mean, he's extremely intelligent too. He seems to make all the right reads. Obviously there's been some times where we're like, he misses the guy downfield. Maybe he should read downfield a little more, but he makes it work. And you can't really knock him on it for checking down when he does. Sometimes he makes it work. And with this guy at quarterback, I mean, I haven't been able to be this confident in a quarterback going into a game since maybe CJ, maybe Justin. So it's been a little bit since we've been able to have such faith in a guy. Like, not even Will Howard. There were times where it was like, well, he's better than what we had before, but so it's definitely nice to have a quarterback as smart and as precise as Julian's saying, and put some respect on his name. This guy should be top 2 in the Heisman race at least.
And everyone's been talking about the offensive line situation. There's the eyeball test, what you see, and then there's statistical analysis. And in order for us to do both, we got the newest edition of Buckeye Backers joining us. It is Bryan, Buckeyes Stats, and he is bringing us the goods. And he's been all over the internet right now, man. If you check him out on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. Because, man, he is pulling it. So let's just get into, first of all, welcome to Big Ten Buckeye Backers, and welcome to college football backers. And let's see, what was your biggest hit this week? What you put out there as far as stats?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I don't know, man. I feel like I've been throwing bangers almost every day. There's just been a lot to throw out there. We'll start off today. We talk about, Ryan Day had his press conference. I don't even know what today is. What was it? Yesterday he had the press conference.
Yep.
And everyone's been talking about the run game and the offensive line. So, I've been working on some stats, for the upcoming games, and, was looking at the offensive line issue, and I saw Alabama kind of way down there in the stats, on the run game. And it got me thinking, and if you saw me post this today, I started just crunching some numbers. And if a lot of people don't know, I use AI a lot to crunch a lot of numbers because I use a lot of data. And it takes me a while to crunch all this stuff, and I can't do it just by myself. So I use a lot of AI. So, and crunching all this numbers, what popped out to me was kind of astonishing. And it goes to the thought process that everyone wants to throw out, that we don't play anybody, right? We hear that a lot. But, they talk about our rush game. We have played 4 top 20 rush defenses. So when you talk about us having issues in the run game, well, there's a reason for that. Yeah, we have some issues on run blocking, but give credit where credit's due. We've been playing some pretty hefty run defenses. So then I got to thinking, well, why is Alabama way down there too? So I ran all the numbers, all the top 20, 25 teams, ran all the rush defenses, and all the data popped out. Alabama's the only other team out of all the top 25 that have played, 4 top 25 teams that are ranked, or top 20 rush defenses. And then when all that popped out, it was even more astonishing. Out of all the top 25 teams, that are ranked in the AP right now, 7 of them didn't even face a top 20 ranked rush defense. None of them. And then 10 of those AP ranked teams only face one currently top 20 ranked rush defense. And then you see in the post, so again, just to compare, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We got Texas. They were number 5 in rushing defense. This is something that people really got to get in their damn head. And I didn't have it in my damn head, so I do now. Wisconsin, the number 18 rush defense. Minnesota, the number 19 rush defense. And Washington, also tied at number 19 in rush defense. That explains a lot, all right? And if we're running the way we are against them, you went into the Alabama numbers, we're far and away better than Alabama, the only other team in the top 25 that has gone against 4 top 20 rush defenses, right? So what's our yardage per game compared to theirs?
So bingo. So we're comparing apples to apples.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's only 2 teams ranked in the top 25 that have faced 4 top 20 currently ranked top 20 rush defenses. There's only 2 teams. So now you're comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
And Ohio State is currently ranked number 72 in the country in rush offense, rushing 151 yards per game. Alabama is ranked in the country 104th, only gaining 125 yards per game. And that doesn't even tell the whole story. The whole story is average yards per carry. Ohio State is currently number 51 in the country at 4.58 yards per carry, and Alabama, out of 136 schools in the FBS, Blue Blood Alabama is number 111 at 3.68 yards per carry.
Wow. That is an eye-opening stat. Eye-opening. The good thing is both these teams have a great pass offense, so they can rely on that. But what it tells us as Buckeye fans is hold your horses on Tegra a little bit. Hold your horses just a little bit. And maybe. Not so fast.
My favorite quote from Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend, but we'll get to that later, right? Not so fast, my friend. Or do you want to get to it now?
Jump on in, brother.
All right.
This is what we like to call a statistical red flag.
Yep. We're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start throwing the challenge flag from the stat guy.
Yep.
So just like Ryan Day talked about in his press conference, there are some issues here in the offensive line, and the eye test, it's on the right side, and it shows up in the stats as well. And I had posted that I think the other day. PFF grades. We have, Austin number 1, Josh number 2, and it goes down. Ian, Luke, Carson, Gabe, and Ethan. And that's through the first 7 games. And then you go all the way down, and poor Tegra. And if Tegra is listening, we love you, Tegra. This is just constructive criticism. We just want the team to do well. No one's dogging on you. We love you. But right now you're grading at, number 13 down there.
That was from the last game.
Let's check. Let me check here. Just look at the stats. I'm gonna pull up. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the season stats.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the season stats. I think that might have been for the game. Let's pull up the season. Holy shit, man.
Either way, if that's for the game, that's awful.
That was for the game.
That's awful.
Holy shit. Guess what? Guess who is the number 1 graded offensive lineman all year?
Is it Josh?
Josh Padilla is the number 1 graded offensive lineman all year.
Now I will say this about Josh.
We only have 2 linemen graded at 80 and above, and of course, the other one is Austin Sarabeld, and above him is Josh Padilla. Obviously, he's got a smaller sample size at about 79 snaps.
Yes.
But
I think that's what Alex was about to say.
That and with Josh, he didn't play his best either against Wisconsin, but you could tell things were working better when he was in as opposed to Tegra. Tegra seems to be getting worse every week, and we're past midway point.
Yeah,
we can't have that, especially in Ann Arbor. I will harper the Ann Arbor point November 29th all day, every day, because that game is so important, even if it means nothing for us when it comes to Big Ten or playoff aspirations. That game needs to be a statement game for Ryan Day going forward. I don't know if you guys just saw, but Bill Rambinowitz put out a book, And there's been these snippets from it coming around about that players meeting with Day after that Team Up North game last year.
Yep.
And how our suspicions ended up being true, that Day was trying to beat them at their own game by doing the run heavy crap against them. We need to use the pass to set up the run. I think we've established that. And if we don't get this offensive line problem fixed by that game, we're going to have some issues again. Now, granted, Julian Sand is a lot better at, getting around in the pocket and getting out of the pocket than Will Howard and certainly Kyle McCord. So that'll be a plus.
That's an interesting dynamic. We should probably talk about that next.
Yeah, but we have to get this offensive line issue fixed now.
You're right.
Everybody else is doing great. Like Phil Daniels, he didn't even play his best game either. But I attribute that mostly to having to make up for Tager's mess. I think Josh has to be the starting right guard from here on out. Yeah,
and that's the next iteration to this. We're going to have to take a deep dive into how Daniels plays when Padilla's in, and see how we can crunch those numbers. That might be something hard to do, but if there's a man that can do it, as AZ Buckeye says, Bryan is the man. Great free agency signing for the Buckeye backers. Hell yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve. If his grade starts going up with Padilla in, there's your answer right there.
For sure. Yeah. So, and it could be. The other thing, you got to throw this little nugget out there. All right. We just went on a championship run, and Tegra was part of that. Obviously, we saw that there were some holes with Tegra even last year, but Day's got to give him a little bit of he made it through the best of the best in that grind of a season when you needed him the most and produced. So he does have a longer chain than most may.
Right. And to that point, I think I posted this. We want to give him some grace and the whole offensive line some grace. I posted this the other day. Let's point out they are Joe Moore midseason honor roll awardee. They are number one in the country right now as a unit in not allowing tackles for loss. They are number 4 in the country right now and not allowing sacks. Also, too, I did some analysis. They are on pace as a unit, as the offensive line unit. You talk about making history. This whole team is on pace, making a lot of history right now. As an offensive line unit, this offensive line is on pace to become the best offensive line since the 1995 Nebraska offensive line, which did not give up one single sack. Obviously, we've given up a sack, but when you consider tackles for loss and sacks, they are on pace to become the next best offensive line since that unit. And people aren't talking about that. That's not a discussion that's being had right now, and I'm trying to bring that to the forefront. Even with Tegra in there right now, they are on that pace right now. So again, Tegra, we love you. You were on the team last year. Can we get better? Yes, we can get better. But yes, let's give them some grace. But I think we had this discussion, a little bit ago. When you see a dog, in a running back or in a quarterback or in a wide receiver, you can't keep them off the field. You got to put them in. You got to put your best man in, and everyone sees it, man. Padilla is a dog. You got to put him in. You got to put your best players in. Not to say that you can't rotate Tegra in, but how lucky are we that we have this awesome offensive line that's about to make history, and we're quibbling over, putting in a guy who is grading above Austin Sareville right now. I mean, we are spoiled.
Hell yeah, we are. And we want to keep it that way. We elite. That's what we want. The best of the best always. And guess what? If you don't pick up your garbage, someone's going to clean it up for you. And that's what's happening with Padilla.
And here's the thing, Bryan mentioned it too. There's games coming up where we can rotate Tager in to get him some work so he can improve in real game reps. Obviously, like against Purdue, do we need Padilla in there every play? Probably not. Against Rutgers, do we need him in there every play? Probably not. UCLA, I mean, they're like a whole new team right now. I don't know what we'll see how they are once
Cross
they
that
get
bridge
to,
when we get there.
yeah, once they get to Columbus. But there's obviously some teams that we're going to beat with our eyes closed that we can get Tager in there to get him some reps to try to get him better. And I hope he does get better. I hope, even like Steve said, even last year, there were times where we were like, oh, Tager, he definitely the weak link in this offensive line right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's got room to improve, and I have every faith in Tyler Bowen that he'll get that out of him. But right now, you just got to go with the better man. That's going to make this offense move even better. And gosh, we're already keeping saying pretty clean every game. So if we can keep them cleaner and open up way more running lanes for our running backs, good night.
And Sane just entered the Heisman race, man. Putting those numbers up that he did, 4 touchdowns. We talked about it earlier. His completion percentage is off the charts. But the way he moves so gracefully in the pocket, he sets up everything. And honestly, I think he makes up for a lot of what we lack on the offensive line at times because he knows when to move. He's got eyes in the back of his head. He's dancing in the pocket like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like he's floating there, and he knows
that's a pretty good way to describe it.
And he moves gracefully up in the pocket and then breaks out of the pocket immediately when he needs to. He's one step ahead of the defensive lineman, one step ahead of even the offensive lineman where they're blocking. The guy just sees the field. He has a presence in the pocket like no other.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. And again, a lot of times our eyes, what we see when we go to the numbers, they tell us the exact same thing. And when we go to PFF and we look at, they have this SCR score, it talks about scrambles. Right now I have Julian Sand, Fernando Mendoza, and Ty Simpson up because I'm obviously keyed in on all 3 of those guys right now. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to me that this kid is only 7 games into his entire career. And you look at his scramble rate, he's only got 6 scrambles. What that means is that he's not leaving the pocket. And we just had this whole discussion about how, we have a good offensive line, but they have their issues. Mm-hmm. And we're watching him dance around. Like we're watching him. The pocket is collapsing. He is moving. He's got moves like Jagger, as we like to say. But he's keeping his head up. He's got poise, and he's throwing the ball down the field. So when PFF scores him on scrambling, they're saying he's not scrambling. So he throws it. He's still in the pocket.
Heads up.
So right now they only have him at 6 scrambles between for the season. Mendoza has 19, and Ty Simpson has like 20 or 24 or something like that. So you're talking about a kid here who's 7 games into his entire college career, and all these other Heisman hopefuls have 3 times more than he does. Mm-hmm. To me, that's crazy. And I don't know who posted it the other day, but someone said these are the quarterbacks that I trust the most, and I just laughed. Like, no, this is the quarterback. When I think of trust, I think of someone who's going to protect the ball.
Correct.
You're talking about someone who has 80% completion percentage. You have someone with a scramble rate that is the lowest of all the people that were on her list. You talk about PS2 as far as not taking sacks. His throwaway rate, he's throwing the ball away instead of taking sacks and throwing the ball down the field. There's another stat in here about, turnover-worthy play rate. His is lowest among all of them. Like, it's just crazy. Like, this guy is so efficient. He's probably, and I hate to be hyperbole here, but he's probably the most efficient quarterback that I think I have ever watched in college football. And I'm not saying that like hyperbole and because I'm an Ohio State fan. I truly mean it. Like, looking at these numbers, he has got to be the most efficient quarterback I have ever seen. And it's crazy to think he's only 7 games into his career, and we have at least one more whole season with him.
When you have college football announcers comparing him to Joe Montana, wow. Like, that is, you don't just throw around that name ever.
Right.
I don't remember the last time I heard a quarterback compared to Joe Montana. Like how he throws the ball is off the charts, how he moves. You know what I pictured in my mind actually when we were talking about how he just floats back there? It was like, you know how graceful it looks when a deer jumps over a fence? And you're like, man,
Yeah.
they figured that and made it look like it was easy. The way he moves in the pocket is just like, wow, that's a thing of beauty.
Deer's a bad analogy for me because I saw plenty of them dead alongside the highways in Pennsylvania today.
Well, they don't jump over cars gracefully.
Right,
And
right.
Marvell Reese was coming after Julian saying, I don't think he would look graceful either.
But one of my favorite things about Julian is actually something that really drove me nuts about Kyle McCord. If you remember Kyle McCord, when he would drop back in the pocket, he would keep dropping back and dropping back and would never step up in the pocket at all. Julian, he just steps up in the pocket so effortlessly. He finds it while keeping his eyes downfield and ready to sling it at any given point. It's like he's got all these pro attributes. And like
that's a freshman.
Yeah, like Bryan kept saying,
redshirt freshman.
He's only 7 games into his career. His story is far from done being written right now.
Yep.
And you see all these stats, and you see just like these pro qualities about him. Boy, he's only going to get better, guys.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing people forget. And I was definitely trolling Alabama today when I made that post about. Yeah, right. When I made that post, I was like, you know what, Alabama fans, I give up. You're right. Absolutely, there's going to be an Alabama quarterback that wins the Heisman this year. Because some people forget that Julian was recruited by Nick Saban, and I started looking up, the history and the stats, and come to find out, Julian was the 3rd highest rated quarterback that Nick Saban ever brought into Alabama. Even higher than Ty Simpson. Like,
I'm trying to think of who the two above him were. Tua and who?
I just had it up here.
Was it Jalen?
Bryce Young.
Oh, Bryce. Yeah, Bryce. Tua's got to be the other.
It's got to be Tua.
No. It wasn't Tua. He was rated higher than Tua. You will not guess this. I did not guess this.
Greg McElroy.
No.
Brody Croyle.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, really? Wow.
Yeah. And it's amazing to see some of the players that he's actually graded higher than. But he's definitely graded higher. He's graded higher than Ty Simpson and Jared Judy, and people forget that he was a very highly touted recruit. And then you look to the Elite 11. He was an Elite 11 MVP. And then poor Ty Simpson, made it to the Elite 11, but poor Ty Simpson, sad face, wasn't an MVP, and then you do the blind test, the old blind, Coke test where you taste testing, you put up the stats, the stats are almost identical between Ty and San, except for, the completion percentage sticks out like a sore thumb. Yep. Everything else is almost identical. They're off by 1 touchdown. The yards, you give or take, maybe 100 yards or so. They're almost identical. So if San was putting up the same exact stats, they'd be ecstatic at this kid at Alabama. But right now they're saying it's not even close. Ty should win. So it just blows my mind how they can't conceive of the fact that an Ohio quarterback could possibly win the Heisman.
They want to give it to an SEC player. They always do. They always find a way to do so. And I mean,
ESPN controls the narrative.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you even saw that some guy on ESPN live on air said we would love to show more Julian saying highlights, but because of
we're not allowed
certain things, we're not allowed.
Contractual obligations.
It's like really, finally a minute, thank you, but come on, folks, come on.
You know what else could have been better? Penn State.
And Jerry Emmett don't be there being our ID.
AZ Buckeye in the locker room says if Penn State didn't shit the bed, Sang would be without a doubt win the Heisman this year because they'd have that 1 versus 2 probably matchup in the shoe, and it would be time to shine, have that Heisman moment. the thing is, the Heisman Trophy is probably going to be decided in Indianapolis because they do it after the Big Ten championship game, and Mendoza versus Sang is going to be for all the marbles. Have that Heisman moment then and take that trophy home.
I don't think it goes to Europe. I think they're going to find a way to get it to an SEC player. They just always do. Just like the Biletnikoff never gets awarded to the actual best wide receiver in the country. It always is given to like the best story. It's always about the best story for the Heisman Trophy. And they're like, they might try to give it to Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt just because what a great story, you know.
And that is a good story.
You got to have the story.
I'll give them that, man. Diego Pavia is fun to watch. I love it.
You got to have the story. I would love Julian Saint to win the Heisman. But see, Alabama's a lot like Ohio State. They seem to win their national championships with the most average to above average quarterbacks that they've ever had. And all of our superstar quarterbacks leave trophyless. So that's a thing that worries me about Julian Saint because he is so good. It's like, well, we've never won a natty, truthfully, unless you want to count Rex Kern back in the day, but those were way different times. You know, our three modern day ones have been Craig Krenzel, Cardell Jones, and Will Howard. Not exactly.
Yeah, but Cardell Jones
10.
was blowing the defense up with those deep balls. They didn't call him 12 gauge for nothing, man.
Yeah, but they're not exactly top 10 all-time Ohio State quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, in Will Howard's defense, and this is what really pissed me off last year and why I started jumping on Saint's defense this year. Will Howard finished the year number 1 in QBR, and if you look it up, I think he is number 26 all time. His QBR last year is number 26 all time. He doesn't get the kudos he deserves just because he's an Ohio State quarterback, and that's really what got me going. That's really what got me going this year. I just feel like a lot of our guys just don't get the credit they deserve just because they're not in the SEC and people just don't like Ohio State for whatever reason. So that's why when I throw out the stats I do, it's with the idea that, you know what, the SEC isn't as good as they think they are. And if we want to get in that conversation later about the SEC bias and the AP poll and stuff like that, I think more of that's coming to the forefront.
We will do that. We will definitely do that.
Brian, can I ask you a serious question first before Steve says something? Are you looking for a job? Because I think Ohio State's going to hire a new SID soon after Jerry Emig retires, and we need somebody who's going to promote these players. So,
I
put your resume in, man.
I'm literally doing it for free. I will do it for free. Someone brought up
Ohio State. He'll do it for free.
I think someone posted about Jim Thorpe, the Jim Thorpe Award, and making sure that, you know, we get our DBs a little more, you know, FaceTime with that. And that's my next flag, you know, because we got a special DB that needs to make sure he wins that award before he leaves Columbus. And that's my next challenge is I'm gonna get on the socials and make sure that he gets his just due.
Keep putting it out there, man.
Well,
these players deserve better.
This is one thing that I want to preface. You don't want to be the October or September Heisman front runner. You want to be the November, December Heisman front runner. So that piece is started at Ohio State. They tagged him in a photo and said, put Heisman under it, tagged Heisman on Twitter. So rolling it out slowly is the best approach right now. Just kind of like how you want to build a team at the end of the season. You want it trending upwards as you go. You don't want to already be up and start heading down and someone else catch you. Because right now is when people are really starting to pay attention. Where are the award winners at? I want to see those games in late October, early November, separate the men from the boys and bring home that hardware. I think you're going to see a lot more campaigning done as the season goes on. You'll see it. It's happening. It's going to be a campaign for Julian. And I think, to be honest with you, there's so many talented players on Ohio State's team. It's almost hard to pick the one that's going to be the one that shines by the end of the year. There's just too much talent all across the board. Everywhere on defense, you could pick someone out that you want to win an award at every level.
And to that point too, I mean, I think there's only been one Heisman winner in the last 25 years that started out preseason like Heisman favorite and actually won the award, and I think it was Matt Leinart. So that definitely rings true. You want to be the Heisman front runner going into November and obviously to the end of it, because usually the preseason Heisman favorite does not win the award.
Yeah, someone
walk the room real quick. The Temple of Brutus is getting some good comments in here. So first of all, I like the name. That's awesome, Temple of Brutus. Second of all, saying for Heisman, Bama's got to lose. He talks about those quarterbacks, Krenzel, Jermaine, Braxton. And then Hoying was my freshman year quarterback, beat Michigan for seemingly the first time in forever. Should retire his jersey for that. I like that. I like that a lot. Temple of Brutus.
Hey, he said it right though. He said Michigan. We say Michigan around here.
Michigan.
We say Michigan. They don't get the M from me.
No, but you talked about the Big Ten championship game, and that's probably where the Heisman is going to be.
Yeah, right.
Is probably going to be won. I agree. I do think Alabama loses. I don't think Alabama is as good as people think they are. I don't think the SEC is as good as they think they are this year. I agree with that sentiment that the Big Ten championship game between Sayin and Mendoza, that's probably going to be the Heisman moment. And whoever wins that game, whoever shines the brightest is probably going to be the Heisman winner. Just crunching all these numbers all day, every day. And I've been doing these Heisman comparisons probably since week 2 or week 3, between all the candidates. And there's probably about maybe 15 quarterbacks. I've been doing it since like week 2 or week 3. I really do believe that the race is going to come down to Mendoza and Sayin. They do look to be the 2 best quarterbacks. They have the two best wide receivers. They have what I mean is that each quarterback has 2 really good wide receivers. USC also has 2 good wide receivers as well, but they both have 2 decent defenses.
But USC is flaming out.
Yeah,
bit. I mean,
fair.
already that's hard. It's been done, but usually it goes to one of the best players on one of the best teams.
Fair enough. Yeah, but I do. So someone put the comment in there that they believe Alabama's going to lose, and I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, that was the Temple of Brutus.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The best thing that could happen is Oklahoma and Texas make the SEC title game, and one of them wins it. So then that narrative of, if Ohio State joined the SEC, they'd be a 9-3 team at best, would be disproven because a team in year 2 wins the SEC. If let's say Oklahoma won the SEC this year, that'd be the most hilarious thing of all time. A team that didn't do that great last year, year 2 in the conference wins it, and then all those SEC fans would probably just try to ignore the fact that a newbie won the conference, just waltzed right in and took it from them. I was hoping Texas did that last year, but they fell just short, of course. But I always love it when people say Ohio State couldn't compete in the SEC when we literally recruit as good or better than the vast majority of that conference right now. And I know historically we haven't done great against the SEC, but just saw what we did in the playoffs against two of their best. So
yeah, we got to get Cody Croy on here in a second, but before we do, let's talk a little bit about the SEC because you brought it up a couple of times. The SEC is on the verge of being what they're spelled to be. You can't spell second place without SEC. So look at their schedule. Look at their standings. Nearly anyone that they could possibly rank, they get ranked because of the ESPN bias. AP voters have to just, throw their name out of the ballot because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Michigan should have had a top 25 win against Washington last week. They just don't rate people. They don't even look at them. They don't even think, they're worthy of it, despite the fact that the SEC is losing again and again against the Big Ten last year and the year before, all the biggest games. That's what matters the most. Like, what else are we going to compare it to if we can't compare it to head? And you kind of, Bryan, you did a little bit of analysis on, at least in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I did a post on this, and it's become a self-licking ice cream cone every year where they're all ranked in the preseason poll. And then all year they're all ranked, and they said, look at us, we're all ranked, and they all lose all year long. And then they get to the postseason, and then you do a postseason analysis. Last year, and I just did for last year, but you can go back, prior years. But just last year, the SEC and the bowls, they were 8-7. So right at 500. Big Ten last year was 11-6 in bowl games, but there was I like to call it fratricide because they were 1-1 in the CFP, so they're really 10-5. So they're right at 67%, in the bowls. So I mean, Big Ten's doing a lot better than the SEC. Head to head in the bowls last year, Big Ten versus SEC. We kind of kicked their ass.
Don't be so slow about that. Say it with authority.
The Big Ten was 5-1 against the SEC in all the bowls last year. We kicked their ass. So all this shit about, hey, we're better. You guys suck. Nah, man, you guys aren't that good. You guys, your time is over. You're kind of like that old man, that's talking about your glory days. You're Al Bundy sitting on the couch with your hand in your pants. That's what you are, talking about the touchdowns you scored back in high school. So yeah, this is ridiculous. And then you have this graphic up here. This is what really pisses me off. Again, it's a self-licking ice cream cone. You talk about the ESPN, AP bias and the ratings, and we can't show Julian Sayin because of contractual obligations. We like to joke about it, but this is actually a serious thing because all these have serious implications for bowl games. These have serious implications for the Heisman Trophy because you're saying, who did you play? Your stats don't count because who did you play? For Blitnikoff, for the Thorpe Award, who did you play? And all they do is they point to these numbers next to their college name, and the SEC, you can see there all the 2-loss teams and below, every single one of them is ranked. What is it? 22 or better. Every single one of them. Here we are going into week 9, and every single one of them. And you go on to the left there.
1 year better.
No, you see Texas is up there in the middle because of
22. Sorry.
Yeah. So off to the left there, you can see all of our I say our the Big Ten 2-loss teams are better. UCLA snuck in there at 3 and 4 because of it's sorted by conference rankings. But all of our 2-loss are better teams. How many are ranked? Or how many are not ranked? We got one. We got one, two. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5?
Oh, yeah,
1,
5.
2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Well,
Six.
my biggest gripe isn't even between the conferences here. My biggest gripe is why is the team up north ranked above USC?
Yeah, there's that. There's that too.
They should be unranked. USC should be 25th.
Yep.
Well, they should both be ranked, to be honest with you.
No, keep them. Screw the blue. Keep them out. Put USC in their place.
Because Washington should have been ranked when Michigan beat them. To be honest with you.
They would have fell right back out. That narrative got killed.
Yeah, but if this was the SEC though, between 2 SEC teams, with Washington losing to Michigan, they would have said, "Oh, well, the good SEC team lost to another good SEC team.
Yep.
Let's keep you in the top 25." And that's what they do. And that's my point, is that if they keep them ranked really high, they say you just lost to a really good team. So
right.
we'll keep you ranked high. So that's what I mean by a self-licking ice cream cone all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember 2018 when obviously the year we got blown out by Purdue, embarrassing, obviously. And it came down that championship weekend when Oklahoma played Texas. That was their only loss that year. And they did the final rankings after Oklahoma beat Texas, got their revenge, and put them in, obviously, in that 4 spot. And then they had Georgia as a 2-loss team at 5 and Ohio State as a 1-loss team at 6. And they said flat out on ESPN and the College Football Playoff Committee, flat out said if Oklahoma had lost that game, we would have put 2-loss Georgia in that 4 spot over a 1-loss Ohio State team.
Mm-hmm.
And that still resonates with me to this day. Obviously, I knew about SEC bias long before that, but that was just like the next step up. You're going to put a 2-loss team that showed twice on the field that they couldn't get it done over a one bad night in West Lafayette, which has been hell for Ohio State for 25 years. But
it was different then. I mean, college football was different then. You had to show out to separate yourself. And I get it. Yeah. Does a 2-loss team deserve it over someone that has a bad game? I don't know. But it doesn't matter anymore because there's 12. So they would have got in.
Yeah.
If it were today, they would have got in.
Yep. But it just SEC bias has been a thing for so long.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm glad.
Can you ask a question? Oh yeah. Anyone from the locker room, we call it, the comment section in the locker room. If you want to ask a question, if it's a damn good question, yeah, we'll put it up there. We'll try to answer it. So shoot, man, let's hear it. I'm going to get a little bit to the locker room before we move on. All right. AZ Buckeye, do you guys think that we will still win a national championship even if we can't establish a run game this year? I honestly think our defense is elite enough to carry us regardless. We kind of talked about this earlier. I think maybe our run game isn't as bad as we think just because of the opponents we've played that have all been ranked 4 top 20 rush defenses in the country we've played against. So more to be seen. Day said it's not where he wanted it to be, but they're going to keep working on it. And,
Here's the thing.
And it's not, they have a off week this week. So they got time to work on it, time to maneuver, time to put Padilla in and see in practice, hey, is this really what we want to go with? All right.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Defense wins championships. Ohio State has a top defense, probably arguably the number 1 defense, but obviously some metrics, Oklahoma's number 1, whoop-de-doo. But they also have a top 15 total offense. So you're going to win national championships with that recipe, even with a weaker running game. Now, obviously, still want to get it better. And honestly, the run game isn't even the worst part about this team. It's the entire special teams. That's the worst part about this team. Every part of the special teams is garbage. So that could cost us a game alone.
Serious questions deserve serious answers. And Turkey Syrup wants to know, do you think Ryan Day eats it from the back? If eats it from the back means lifting trophies above your head at the end of the year, then yes.
Yeah, there's a sign from game day that still sticks with me from this day. And someone had put up Ryan Day sits when he pees. For some reason that sits with that, no pun intended, that sits with me to this day. I always think of that whenever I see College Game Day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he just got maintenanced. So
well, it's just like that edited photo of Ryan Day after the Texas game where they showed him with nipple rings under his shirt, and that proved to be not true. It was everybody fell for it.
Wait, that's not true.
Yeah, well, a lot of people fell for it.
It was definitely it was crazily edited, but it was still kind of funny. I mean,
it was funny.
If someone did that to you, would you laugh at it? I'm trying to put myself in Ryan Day's shoes.
I'd laugh.
Oh yeah,
I would laugh my butt off. I would be like, that is hilarious. You guys got me on that one because it's funny, and you don't have I don't think he listens to that stuff unless someone comes up and shows it to him. If someone in the locker room's like, "Hey, look what they did," he would probably laugh at it a little bit.
That's a great question. Temple brutal.
So if Washington beats Illinois and Oregon, do they get in the playoffs or they don't? No, they win those 2 games, they're in. As long as they clean up shop the rest of the season too.
Maybe.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something crazy? You know who has a path and controls their own destiny?
UCLA.
Yep.
No.
If they win the Big Ten.
No. Not so fast, my friend.
Oh, you got another flag for me?
Not so fast. Not so fast.
Sorry, Cody. We'll get you in here, buddy.
Are they still even doing the conference champions auto bid thing? Is that still a thing? Since they're doing it by
the top two
CFP?
winners.
Since they're doing it by CFP ranking now?
No, I'm talking about Big Ten championship. I'm not talking about CFP. So if UCLA wins out, they make it to the Big Ten championship game. If they win the Big Ten championship game, Big Ten champion gets auto bid into the CFP.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, if they win,
yeah.
You said
I guess that's true about everybody.
They're 3-1 right now. So Ohio State or Indiana would have to lose.
And listen, I said this about Clemson last year,
and then lose
when they
to
made
them,
it in.
right?
Well, you have to remember who does UCLA still have on their calendar?
Both.
They would have both. So if they went out, that means they would have beaten Indiana and Ohio State.
Yeah.
I said this about Clemson last year when they were a 3-loss ACC champ and got in. If you lose 3 or more games, you do not deserve to be in this 12-team playoff. I don't care if you win your conference or not. You can't reward losing in this sport. And losing 4 games, I know you're a whole different team since you fired your coach. Awesome. Good for you. But you lost too many games prior to that. We can't reward losing.
So
they'd have to find a way to leave them out.
So even if they turn around and beat the number 1 and number 2 team?
You'd have to leave them out. You can't reward losing.
Okay.
They wouldn't by their metrics that they have set up. They'd have to put UCLA in, but UCLA would be a quick out, and it would just be embarrassing, honestly. Well, they're not going to, so we're not going to have to worry about this in reality. Right. But listen,
I don't know. So I've been crunching the numbers. Buckeye Steve asked me to crunch the numbers. I don't know if you see, like I usually do a comparison between Ohio State and their opponent for the next week, but since we're in a bye week, I'm going to start running analysis every week on Ohio State and Indiana. I'll also do Ohio State's opponent coming up, but I'm going to do side-by-sides every week as the numbers change. And this is the first time I've actually taken a deep dive look into Indiana. I'm going to be honest. I'm not completely impressed with Indiana. I know that's going to be a hot take. That's a hot take.
All right.
Hot take. I'm throwing you a fastball. I think they're a good team, but just looking at the metrics, I'm not entirely impressed. I need more data. For me, I just need more data points. I'm excited to watch UCLA play Indiana. I think we're all of the mind that UCLA is a new team. Signetti even said it. They're 3-0. Obviously, they're playing a different caliber. I'm going to be watching with a different eye to see how Indiana plays against UCLA because of some of the metrics that I'm looking at. They may blow them out. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm not completely sold on Indiana yet.
I agree with you. Kudos to UCLA for, winning 3 games in a row. That's cute. We'll beat them by 30. Indiana, great team, great quarterback, probably a future Cleveland Brown. His whole career is going to get ruined before it even starts, of course, because of that. I get it. I have the utmost respect for Kurt Signetti. I think he's an amazing coach. Other people hate him because he's cocky. I love that guy. The whole Google me thing, great. That's cute. We're going to beat it by 14 plus.
Yeah, it's cute. That's the best way to describe it. That's cute. But
because they don't have the talent we do.
You got a 3-game win streak. That's cute. Come to our house and show us what you're about.
Nico can get 3 helmets cracked this time instead of 2.
Bada boom, bada bing. All right, Cody.
Boom.
We're gonna have to get into Cody's because he's got some good stuff coming around the corner. And Cody, Croy, Buckeyes in the big league. Let's start there. Cody, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, my Cleveland Browns, they finally won a football game. Pretty excited about that.
There you go.
Actually, before that, let me start by saying, hey, Bryan, welcome to the team, man. Love your stuff. It's awesome.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Welcome to Buckeye Backers, man. Love it. Quinshon Judkins, 3 touchdowns, 84 yards.
Yeah. Bring it, Quinshon.
What
To
did that
me, he's
remind
looking
you
like
of?
the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, he's
Remind you of that natty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he should have won offensive player of the game or player of the game over Howard, but
Yeah, he
that's
probably
just my
should have,
opinion.
honestly. He
I know
probably should
Howard
have.
started off on fire though. You got to get
Yeah, he did. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a toss-up.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, sticking with the Browns, you have Jerome Baker, 3 tackles and a sack. Ronnie Hickman, he had an interception. Ward had 4 tackles. So the Buckeye Browns were on point.
The Buckeye Browns. I like that.
I'm happy they won too. So their only win wasn't against my Packers. I needed them to have another win to soothe that
Yeah. There you
scar
go.
that I have on me.
I'm just glad we're not the Jets, man. Justin Fields, I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
I hate it too.
He seems to get screwed at every opportunity in the NFL. Just
The Steelers, they never should have benched him.
No, he's just going to all the wrong places. Too.
He's played for 2 of the worst franchises of all time for quarterbacks. And in general.
I hope he has a Baker Mayfield type
Me
resurgence.
too. I just don't know who's going to take him at this point. I really don't.
I think his career's over, and that's
Me
really
too.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Pittsburgh should have kept him.
I agree.
Yeah.
But Will's there now, so.
I want to get back to the Temple of Brutus because I love this conversation. So the Big Ten has a path to 4 teams instead of the SEC by the end of the season. And oh, am I rolling? I'm sharing that with everybody in the SEC related. Yeah, I think by the end of the season, you're not going to have 5 teams from the SEC, and it's just not happening. They're not powerful enough. And if they do, they're going to be losing so much that the next year, they're not going to be able to do that.
And it wasn't the 4 Big Ten teams I thought would get in.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is, well, except one, of course.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, back to the NFL. Buckeyes in the NFL. We got to reward these dudes because this is the ultimate goal. Buckeyes come to Ohio State with aspirations of making more money than they make at Ohio State in the NFL. That's why everything that Cody's doing, if you do not read his articles, go read them now on College Football Backers, cfbackers.com. Check his articles out because he is giving a breakdown every week on what the Buckeyes are doing in the NFL. And if you don't read that, then you're not a Buckeye fan.
Well, Jackson Smith and Jigma, man, looking like the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
My fantasy savior. My fantasy savior.
8 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, currently the league leader in yards, and actually, I saw a post yesterday. He's actually on pace to potentially break Calvin Johnson's single season yards record. So
wow.
I
just got a sweet picture dunking on the goalpost too.
I just got to ask him, who's wide receiver you again, Jackson?
I know.
I
He's
think
proving
he was
himself
motivating
wrong.
himself. I think that was just a self-motivational tool.
Hey, it's
And
working.
And
It's
I'm
working.
going to go prove it wrong.
Yeah, he's good, man.
Yeah.
Really
heck
good.
yeah. Buckeye receivers in the NFL are ridiculous.
Cody, talk to me about Chris Olave's resurgence. He's finally got he doesn't have the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's finally got a quarterback not throwing him hospital balls to get him concussed every 5 games.
And Chris's question has always been health since he's stepped into the league, and ever since he's been healthy, he's been incredible. Let's see, 5 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. So
I like that. Like
I love Olave.
About your article too. It's like the Saints are. I can't remember the exact line, but the Saints are like miserable, but at least
they're awful.
At least they have something fun to watch, and that's
Yeah.
Chris Olave catching balls.
And Rattler, he's been all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not awful. He's not great, but he's not throwing hospital balls for Chris Olave to catch. Thank God. Chris Olave deserves success, not to be laying motionless on the ground because he got his bell rung for the 100th time.
Yep.
So what about Buckeyes that aren't Buckeyes yet? The future Buckeyes.
Well, taking a look at our high school Buckeyes, I want to talk about a guy that 2028 commitment, Elijah Newman Hall, 145 yards and a touchdown. He has 695 yards on the season and 5 touchdowns. So he's having a heck of a year.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
Brady Edmonds, my personal favorite commitment in the 27 class, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns for Huntington Prep. Luke Fahey, I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
21 of 23, 3 touchdowns or 378 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to our
That was like the take at the last second too. Got Luke Fahey and man, he's tearing up like all these takes that Ohio State gets. It's like when people overlook someone and Ohio State goes after him, you know that person's going to shine. You know that they're just going to come in here and light it up. Oh, here we go. Hey, you didn't cover this. Temple of Brutus is helping us out a little bit. Pete Warner, 5 tackles and a sack. Hell yeah.
He's been the biggest surprise for me.
Must have missed him.
As far as NFL Buckeyes go. Pete Werner, my goodness. Like
he's good, man.
Jeremy Rucker,
he's an athletic freak. We misused the crap out of that guy.
He is. Well, he played a lot. Remember, he was in pass coverage a lot. And
He did, but,
well at Ohio State.
But you remember, I believe that was during the
COVID year.
No, was it then? I thought he was a little before that.
Maybe he was.
I think he was drafted 2019.
I was going to say, I thought
he left
Bill
right before
Davis. Bill Davis was our linebacker coach, and that room was suffering because of it. Because Urban wanted to hire his best man as our linebackers coach, and it worked out terribly.
Getting some playing time.
God bless James Laurinaitis. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
he's been incredible.
Thank you.
Absolutely transformed the locker room.
As
far as the
and we knew he would.
Linebackers
We knew he would.
Yeah. I'm so glad we have him. Absolutely so glad. So what else in the high school ranks coming into Buckeye Nation do we need to keep our eye on?
Let's go to the receivers. Wide receiver U. That's going to continue. Brock Boyd, really good player. 101 yards and a touchdown. That brings his season totals to 610 touchdowns. So he's unbelievable.
10 touchdowns, 600 yards.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's I think a 3-star wide receiver, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's
under
in
the radar.
Some real ball down there in Texas too.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. He's in a real league.
Yeah. Southlake, that's a great school, competitive school.
Quinn Ewers is alma mater.
Yeah.
Is it?
So,
okay.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Did not know that.
Yep. If you don't know, now you know.
Our last high school Buckeye, Quay Guilford, receiver, 9 catches, 139 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Very good.
What about Chris Henry Jr.?
So I use all my stats. I go to Max Preps.
Oh, he doesn't get his log.
Modern day. This is new. They don't do it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we know he's killing it anyway. He's going to start next year probably, so whatever.
Yeah. All you had to do was watch that game on ESPN at the beginning of the year to know he's
he's fine. He's probably got like 1,200 yards, 20 touchdowns by now, whatever.
Him and KDW.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Is he going to start out of the gate or develop or what? Who's he looking like quarterback next year?
Well, Sayan's going to be there.
For us? I was going to say Sayan's going to be starter.
Sayan.
And then after that, who knows?
St. Clair, Edmonds.
Tavian St. Clair's got that wrapped up like it's by far Tavian St. Clair.
I've said that about some quarterbacks in this new era of college football too, and then they've left.
Devin Brown.
Because it is what it is.
Dude, but he's got a pretty ball too.
That's the hardest one to pinpoint right now, position wise, on who's going to be your next guy up, because they could just leave. I thought what's his name?
He's all
What's his name that went to South Carolina?
Aaron Nolan.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be the next guy.
Again, these are guys that are from different states.
Nolan's not even going to play for South Carolina next year.
Right.
St. Clair lives less than an hour away from Columbus.
I thought Quinn Ewers was going to be the next guy at one point. And then
all the time.
He took the money and ran.
Yeah. That was on purpose. I mean,
and fitfully, karma rolled its way right around, and he ended his college career against the team he spurned for the bag. So
that's
it is what it is.
Getting sacked by his roommate.
Getting sacked by his former roommate.
That's what happens whenever
perfectly.
Yeah.
He chose
You know
money
what?
for development.
Just like
You
you
know the
wrote it
story
up.
I heard about that? So apparently when Quinn Ewers left town, he took Jack Sawyer's football with him, his favorite football. So Jack Sawyer was like, I'm getting you back, man. I'm taking that ball and I'm going home with it. So he took it to the house. Boom. That's
awesome.
That's just my stupid dad joke.
I love that dad joke. That's great. Love that. I actually love that. That's great.
Anyway, all right, Cody, we got the best of Buckeyes coming to you soon, and the best of the best out of Buckeyes in the NFL, in the big league. Go check out his article. I'm gonna let you go because you need to relax that voice, man. I know you keep getting it,
Man.
and
I'm wait. You got to get that better, man. You got to get some like honey tea or something.
yeah, honey tea, and you need to have some water there, man. Take some sips every now and then.
Yeah.
Clear that throat,
I always got my pop. You know.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully things get better. I'm actually going to a doctor next month to check it out. So
I hope it does, man.
Excellent.
Yeah. But your articles are fire, and you don't have to strain your voice to do it. So keep those coming.
Yeah,
and
just give
everyone
yourself
loves them.
carpal tunnel. That's all.
Yeah. Instead, yeah. And Cody, I appreciate it, man. Every time I'll let you get out of here and enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
Yep. See you guys.
Thank you.
All right. See you, Cody.
So anyway, all right. I'm infatuated with this Indiana versus Ohio State comparison. When you get that up, you're going to put that in written form too, right?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. If you want to chat about it, like I said, Sunday, we can do that. I can start posting some of the analysis to put some teasers out.
Yeah,
if
that's
you
cool.
want to do that,
Because I think it's going to be both those two in the Big Ten championship game.
Guys, a couple years ago, if I told you that Ohio State would finally make it back to the Big Ten title game and their opponent would be Indiana, what would you say to me? And
I would have laughed at you. To your face.
would you have been calling like the help hotline for me, seeing what drugs I'm on? Like,
I would have thought you were talking about. I said, are you talking about basketball or like what are you talking about?
even then, you probably would have been like, "What are you smoking?" Because
I know exactly. Yeah,
and they kind of do too. So, but God, man, Kurt, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Kirk Sidnetti has really shown what these other schools, like, hey, you don't have to wait 4+ years for a program to get turned around. It can turn around now in this era, and they have the backing. I mean, they got Mark Cuban in their back pocket funding the football program in university. They got a lot of donors. We've talked about it. They got one of the biggest like alumni bases too.
Yep.
They got the full support, and they proved that further by going into Signetti's office and within 90 seconds signing a new contract like a week or so ago. So, I mean, he is such a great coach, and I have a lot of respect for what they do. But Buckeyes by 14+. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, and they forget. They think that he just came out of nowhere. You know, they think, he just came from JMU and just came out of nowhere. But people forget, no, he left Alabama, bet on himself. He was part of that Saban tree. He just left and bet on himself. So it's not like he's a nobody. He comes from a good coaching tree. So good on him. That's a good story. But as they say, the buck stops there. I'm happy for you, but just not when it comes to our Buckeyes, right?
No,
I
listen.
just don't think that they could take this. This defense is just too good. Yeah. And if our offense continues to grow and establishes a running game, lights out. Absolutely lights out.
They haven't seen a defense like ours, not even remotely close yet. So they will. They will. I mean, Oregon's the closest, but, even Oregon against Penn State kind of looked a little fragile defensively, especially late. So, I think Indiana will win a playoff game this year, and that'll be a great step forward from what they did last year, obviously. Making it to the Big Ten title game would be a huge accomplishment. Hopefully Buckeye fans outdo their fans when it comes to ticket sales because it's right there, obviously a lot closer than Columbus is. But
also,
at the end of the day,
you got to think about with Indiana too is when's the last time they were at a Big Ten championship game? So they're going to sell. They're going to sell the very, very quickly and lights out. I have a little bit of a post that I'll share with you just because Kyle Golick is got a pretty good situation going there.
That's my guy.
And he posted earlier today, Joe Brady's number 1 on his list. So an NFL assistant is the pick that he would go. And then number 2 is Pat Fitzgerald, which I thought was absolutely crazy. Yeah. Number 3 is Bob Chesney. 4, Will Stein, which I think is a great hire out of Oregon. And then
Alex Golesh, huh?
No, number 5 would be Brian Hartline.
No Alex Golesh, huh?
No. I do think Elko is a good hire, but I don't think he's not leaving. Manny Diaz, I don't think that you take him just because of what he did flopping at Miami. It's got to be someone better than what Franklin's going to do, right? Yeah,
Franklin did pretty well.
Who's going to get you more than 10 wins a season?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Kirk Cignetti would have, but
yeah, Kirk Cignetti was the obvious choice.
He's locked in now. So
I haven't talked to Kyle. Look at this from Temple of Brutus. In 1967, Indiana finished number 4.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
I haven't talked to Kyle in a while. What did Kyle say about Franklin getting fired? Was he for it? Was he against it?
I didn't get a good opinion on that. I think he was kind of.
I'm gonna have to DM him and ask him because he's a level-headed guy.
I think he wanted it initially. He thought, but he did write an article for us specifically saying, I'm still behind Ryan Day, or not Ryan Day. I'm still behind James Franklin. Like kind of touting him, and that was after the loss to, I think it was to UCLA, not after Northwestern. Losing to Northwestern is a whole new level when it comes to Penn State. So that
was James Franklin's first loss.
One to lose.
That was James Franklin's first loss as the Lions head coach. So he bookended his career at Penn State with losses to Northwestern.
Well, but to Northwestern's defense, they have beaten UCLA.
Yeah,
and apparently that's a good win, right?
Yeah,
I think they're only a 2-loss team right now, are they not?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Probably should be ranked. If
they're in that box that we showed.
If Mississippi State had 2 losses, they would be ranked.
If who?
Oh yeah,
Mississippi State had 2 losses.
No, absolutely. And this is our whole thing, the whole dialogue that we had. If Northwestern was ranked, then everyone would be like, look at the Big Ten. They have such great teams in the Big Ten. But just because they're a 5-2 unranked team, you're like, the Big Ten sucks.
Yeah.
No, we have quality teams here.
We're coming to the point in the year where 3-loss SEC teams are going to start getting ranked, and Navy, who's undefeated, is not ranked yet still.
Correct.
Right. And actually, I was going to bring this up earlier about Alabama losing. I wholeheartedly believe Alabama will get another loss. You look at who's left on the docket. They have to play South Carolina. I know people want to dog on South Carolina. I grew up in Hokie country, and I'm always going to root for Beamer. South Carolina, they have a decent team. I think they got a shot at bringing them down. They still got to play Oklahoma, and then they still got to play Auburn. Auburn hung tough and should, if it wasn't for the refs, a lot of people think that Auburn could have beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Auburn had Georgia on the ropes and should have actually been up 17-0, against a Georgia team that's ranked number 5 right now. So that Auburn team isn't going to be a walk in the park. So, you got to play, Alabama still has to play South Carolina, still got to play LSU, still got to play Oklahoma, still got to play Auburn.
Yeah,
they're not gonna win all those games. I'm sorry.
I just want Ohio State to play Georgia. There's some revenge to be given there and beat the brakes
you
off.
And me. But just don't let Jaden Fielding kick. Always go for it. Don't let him kick. Please, for the love of Jesus, don't let it happen. Please.
He'll be fine. He'll pull through.
No, he sucks. He's terrible.
He'll pull through.
He's garbage.
Nah,
he's garbage.
We love everybody, and we love Tegra, and
we gotta be honest with ourselves. Our kicker is mid as hell. Our punter is garbage.
Jaden and the punter. Sorry guys, man, just not doing it. There is no reason Ohio State should have a punter averaging 39 yards a punt. There is no, and I think I posted this. It's like there's a live feed of the Ohio State coaching staff literally renditioning the Wisconsin punter after the game. That man, I think, was averaging like 56 yards a punt that game. And then he goes off and does the fake punting. That dude's a baller. If we don't go up there and kidnap that kid and bring him to Columbus, I will go up there right now and put a hood over his head and drive him down to Columbus right now. That kid is a beast. 56 yards a punt, kicked a 60, I think maybe a 63-yarder. And here we have a punter that's averaging 39 yards, a kick. I think in my junior high, like JV football team, we had a kid that was doing 39 yards a punt. I mean, come on, what? As the kids say, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Well, we supposedly have a backup punter who was on video punting balls 80 yards.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Right. He actually has kicked it one time, and I posted this too. He kicked it one time this year, and he's averaging, and it's just one. So, but he's averaging his average. I think he's ranked number 50 or 51 or 49 in the country off that one punt, and our punter is like ranked almost 100 off his like whatever how many punts he has. Like, why not give that guy a shot? Just a couple more. Why not? Why not during these next few games as we're trying to figure things out? We've got a couple, easy games. Give them a couple shots.
Well, these couple easy games, we might not be punting.
Hey, listen, Mike Nugent's in his 40s, and he could kick better field goals than Jaden Dillon still. So.
Well, there's a team that we just saw that punted on third down one time. I mean, let's just do that. Give McLarty a chance. Just send them out there on third down one time just for shits and giggles. Just say, hey, we just want to see how far you can punt it. Just kick it on third down, see how far you can kick it.
Yep.
I wish.
Man, hey, Temple of Brutus, another one. Indiana and Vandy are the what the heck?
Where the heck they come from?
Where the heck they come from? Teams.
Well, Indiana and Vandy.
But still, I get your point. And what changes this is NIL and money and transfer portal. It makes everything even. And if you invest the money like Vanderbilt's doing, and if you invest the money like Indiana's doing, Indiana has a unique situation where they have a large alumni base. So they have money to spend. Vanderbilt's in Nashville. I'm telling you, these teams that are in big cities have an advantage. More companies, more money, more NIL.
And stuff like that, especially for Indiana's sake, is exactly why the SEC commissioner is trying to get the CFP rigged in his favor to get as many of his teams in as possible.
Correct.
So it can counteract that and get the SEC back into a prominent position because he sees it slipping and he doesn't like it. And especially if the Big Ten or another conference wins it this year, and that's 3 years in a row his conference hasn't won it, boy, he'll be really trying to pull strings to get it in. Just like the commissioner before him did with the BCS era. In 2006, he became a commissioner for the BCS committee, and all of a sudden, the SEC started getting in every year and winning it every year for like 7 years in a row. That's not a coincidence, folks.
Right.
The SEC was able to pull strings and get themselves in the conversations, especially when they had no reason being in 2007 LSU.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Yeah. I'll just add one more thing to that. I think it comes down to your leadership. You have Signetti, and then if you've actually seen anything about Coach Clark Lee, I mean, he is cut of the same cloth. So when you have leaders like the coach at Vanderbilt, and you have a leader like Signetti, and you like you said, you enable them with the money and the ability to go find and rotate over your roster and bring in players. When you enable leaders like that, that's when you're able to get a quick turnaround like that. But it starts with leadership. And I think you see that when you saw Marcus Freeman go over to Notre Dame as well.
Correct.
You know, it all starts with leadership and enabling those leaders to do what they do. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, but good for them. Good for those schools.
It's awesome to see, you know, kind of those. It's like college football's version of those Cinderella stories with those two making it. And Vanderbilt's on track to make it to the playoffs.
Clark Lee said he was going to win Vandy and Natty. We all laughed when he said it, and now all of a sudden they're pretty good.
That's possible. Not this year, I don't think, but it's possible in the future.
Maybe
He's got to pull another Diego Pavia though somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know who their backups are, but hey, man, this has been one hell of a show. We're pushing an hour and a half, so that's 30 minutes extra for you Buckeye backers out there that have been paying attention. We got 80 people in here listening live, which is excellent for a Wednesday night at 11 o'clock. What time is it? I don't even know.
11:30.
11:30. Hey, man, we all got to get up and go to work tomorrow.
I sure do.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here. God bless everyone. Take care. Have a good evening. Thanks again. We're going to be in here all the time. You guys can stay on if you want to talk for a second afterwards, but thanks again to the locker room and everyone who joined us. We'll be back for more. All right. Next Wednesday, same time, same place. Until then, God bless. Adios.
OH.
IO.
Go Bucks, baby.
Go Bucks. Here we are. Peace out.